Try to slide a hanger sideways in your closet right now. Go ahead, reach in and push one to the left. If it will not move, if the fabric on either side presses back and holds it in place like a book jammed too tightly on a shelf, then your closet has been trying to tell you something for a long time. That resistance you feel is not a storage problem, it is a quantity problem. And no shelf, no bin, no piece of furniture from any store will solve it, because the space is already there. It is just buried under decisions you have not made yet. There is a Japanese folding technique, and one quiet question, both older than any organizing trend, that will double what fits in that same closet, using nothing but your hands and a flat surface. No money, no hardware, no trip to the store. My name is Keiko Tanaka. I am 78 years old, and I have lived in the same small wooden house on the edge of Kanazawa for over 50 years. My wardrobe is the same one my husband built the year we married. It is narrow, it is plain, and it has never had a shelf added to it. But it once held 3 times the clothing it holds today. Same wardrobe, same rod, same 2 drawers at the bottom. What changed was not the furniture. It was what I learned, slowly and over many years, about how cloth wants to rest, and that is what I would like to show you now. You have probably heard this advice before. Pull everything out. Every blouse, every undershirt, every pair of trousers you own. Pile it all on the bed. Start from zero. It sounds brave. It sounds thorough. And I can tell you from experience, it sounds much better than it works. I tried it once. I was in my 40s, and I had read that the only real way to sort a wardrobe was to empty it completely, see the full weight of what you own spread out before you, and then decide piece by piece what to keep. So on a Saturday morning I pulled everything from my wardrobe and my 2 drawers, and I laid it across the bed, across the chair, across the floor. By noon the bedroom looked as though a storm had passed through it. By evening I was tired, I was frustrated, and I had sorted perhaps a quarter of what was there. I slept on the sofa that night with the bedroom door closed. The next morning I put most of it back, unsorted, because I did not know what else to do with it. That big pile did not help me make better decisions. It made me make no decisions at all, because there were too many to face at once. The sheer volume of it stole my energy before I could think clearly about any single piece. And in a compact home, a Japanese home with small rooms and no spare corner to spread things out, emptying everything creates a mess that is worse than the one you started with. You run out of time, you run out of floor, and you run out of patience, all in the same afternoon. There is a gentler way. You do not have to face the whole closet in one breath. Instead, you select one small area, a single drawer, one shelf section, the narrow space where your scarves hang. You take out only what lives there, and you make your decisions in that small, manageable circle. Then you close the drawer, and you are finished for the day if you want to be. The difference is not just practical, it is emotional. When you hold one folded blouse in your hands, you can actually feel something about it. You can ask yourself an honest question and hear your own answer. When 50 garments are heaped on the floor, you feel nothing but the urge to stuff them back where they came from. Small, consistent work, one section at a time, is more sustainable than any grand emptying. It lets you think. It lets you breathe, and it lets you stay in your own bed that night. Now that you are working small, with just a few pieces in your hands at a time, there is one question worth asking each of them. Now you have a small stack in front of you, a few shirts, a folded skirt, maybe a cardigan you forgot you owned. And the question is simple. You pick one up, Hold it with both hands and ask yourself whether it gives you a feeling, not a thought, a feeling. There is a difference, and it matters here. The Japanese organizing teacher Marie Kondo describes it in a very specific way. You hold the item and notice whether it creates a little thrill, as if the cells in your body are slowly rising. That is the criterion. Not whether it is useful, not whether it was expensive, not whether someone gave it to you and you feel guilty setting it down. Just whether your body responds to it with something quiet and warm when you hold it close. I want you to understand what this is not. It is not ruthlessness. It is not standing over a pile with a black bag and forcing yourself to throw things away. It is 10 seconds of honesty. You hold the garment, you pay attention, and you let your hands tell you what your mind has been avoiding. That is all. I had a blue wool cardigan. It was a good one, well made, with small shell buttons and a collar that sat flat without fussing. I kept it in my wardrobe for 6 years. I did not wear it once. Every winter I would see it hanging there and think, perhaps this year. And every spring I would fold it away again, unworn. When I finally held it in my hands and asked the quiet question, the answer was immediate. There was no thrill. There was only habit and a thin thread of guilt about the money I had paid for it. I thanked the cardigan. I folded it carefully and set it aside for someone who might feel that small rising when they held it for the first time. That is what letting go looks like, not discarding, passing along. This is where the old Japanese idea of mottainai becomes important. Mottainai means, roughly, do not waste. But it does not mean keep everything forever. It means respect each thing as a finite resource and make sure it finds its right home. Sometimes that home is your closet. Sometimes it is someone else's. The waste is not in releasing a garment you do not wear. The waste is in keeping it pressed against other clothes in the dark, unworn and unseen when it could be useful somewhere else. There is a reason I ask you to do this before you organize anything. You cannot know how much space you truly need until you know how much you are actually keeping. Most people try to solve a closet by rearranging what is inside it. They buy dividers, they stack more carefully, they push things tighter together. But the problem was never the arrangement. The problem was that half of what lives in there no longer belongs to the person they are today. So you work through your small stack, one piece at a time. Hold it, 10 seconds. Feel or no feeling. The ones that give you that quiet warmth go back. The ones that do not, you thank and fold and set aside. No rush, no deadline. Just honest hands and a patient question, repeated until the stack is sorted. When you are finished, look at what remains. Your closet already holds only what belongs there. The space is already larger. But there is one more step that will double it again. Now I am going to show you what to do with the pieces that stayed. You have your small stack, the ones your hands said yes to, and they need a place to rest. But before you put them back the way they were, flat on top of each other, in a drawer where only the top shirt ever sees daylight, I want you to try something different. I want you to stand them up. The idea is simple, and it is old. You fold each piece of clothing into a smooth, uniform rectangle, and then you set it on its edge, inside the drawer, so it faces upward, like a book spine on a shelf. Every piece visible, every piece reachable without lifting or moving the one beside it. Let me walk you through it with one cotton t-shirt, because your hands will learn this faster than your eyes will. Lay the shirt flat on a table or on the floor in front of you, front side down, sleeves spread out. Now fold one sleeve across the body of the shirt toward the opposite side, stopping before you reach the far edge. Fold the other sleeve the same way, so you have a long rectangle with no arms sticking out. Run your hand down the fabric to press it smooth. You will feel the two small ridges where the sleeves overlap, and that is fine. Now fold the rectangle in half lengthwise, bringing one long edge to meet the other. You have a narrower strip now, about the width of your hand. Run your palm along it once more. Last fold. Take the bottom edge and bring it up to about a third of the way. Then fold the top down to meet it. What you are holding is a small, firm packet of fabric, roughly the size of a thick envelope. It should stand on its own when you set it upright on the table. If it slumps, fold it a little tighter. If it is stiff and won't stay, fold it a little looser. After 2 or 3 tries, your fingers will find the right tension. Pick it up and feel the weight of it in your palm. It is compact, tidy, and finished. There is something satisfying about a piece of cloth folded this way. It feels purposeful, the way a well-written letter feels when you slide it into an envelope and press the flap closed. Now set it upright in your drawer, on its folded edge, facing up. Do the same with the next shirt and the next. Line them up side by side, each one standing on its own, each one showing its color and pattern from above. Open the drawer and look at what you have. It looks like a row of small colored books. You can read every title at once. You do not have to lift one thing to find another. You do not have to dig to the bottom of a pile and pull out a wrinkled shirt you forgot was there. Everything is visible, everything is reachable, and nothing is crushed under the weight of what sits above it. The difference in space is real, and it is larger than you expect. A drawer that held 8 shirts stacked flat on top of each other will hold 15 or more standing upright this way, each one taking up only its own thin slice of room. You are not compressing the fabric. You are simply changing its orientation, the way you would gain shelf space by standing books upright instead of laying them in a pile. You may think this takes too long. The first shirt takes a minute, maybe a little more while your hands are learning the shape. By the 5th shirt, your fingers know where to fold without measuring. By the 10th, it becomes something quiet and rhythmic, almost calming, like folding a letter you have written many times before. I fold my clothes this way every time I do the washing, and it takes no longer than the old flat stacking did. The only difference is that when I open the drawer afterward, I can see everything I own in one glance, and nothing is hiding at the bottom. That one change, standing cloth upright instead of laying it flat, is the second half of the promise I made you at the beginning. The quiet question opened the space by letting go of what no longer belonged. The vertical fold doubles it again by letting what remains rest the way cloth actually wants to rest, upright, visible, and breathing. Let me show you what the closet looks like now. Before, the rod bowed in the middle. You could see it curving under the weight, a gentle arc that had become so familiar you stopped noticing it. The hangers pressed against each other shoulder to shoulder, fabric touching fabric, everything so tight that pulling one blouse free meant dragging 2 others halfway off their hangers. The drawers below were no better. Shirts lay flat in stacks, 4 or 5 deep, and you wore the top one because it was the only one you could see. The closet door pushed back a little when you opened it, because a sleeve or a hem had worked its way into the gap. You know this closet. You may be standing in front of it right now. After the quiet question, perhaps a third of what hung there is gone, not thrown away. Thanked, folded, and passed along to someone whose hands will feel that small rising when they hold it. The rod is straighter, You can see the wall behind the remaining garments, a strip of bare wood or painted plaster that has not been visible in years. Each hanger has air on either side of it. After the vertical fold, the drawers hold the same number of garments in roughly half the space they used to occupy. The other half of the drawer is simply open. You can rest your hand inside it and touch the bottom without moving anything. There is nothing piled, nothing pressed, nothing hiding. Put those two changes together, the sorting and the folding, and the arithmetic becomes very plain. You release perhaps a third of the clothing. The remaining pieces, folded vertically, each take up roughly half the drawer width they once did lying flat. The same closet, the same wooden rod, the same two drawers, and you are looking at twice the open space you had before you started. No shelf added, no bin purchased, no furniture moved, just fewer things, resting differently. There is a particular pleasure in sliding a hanger sideways and feeling it glide. No resistance, no fabric catching on the hanger beside it, just a smooth, quiet motion from one end of the rod to the other. It is a small thing, but small physical pleasures in a home you use every day are not small at all. They are the texture of a life that fits. I keep one shelf in my wardrobe deliberately empty. Nothing sits on it, no folded sweater, no spare blanket, no box of things I might need someday. It is bare wood, and I can see the grain of it, and I can run my hand across it and feel the surface my husband planed smooth more than 50 years ago. It is the most beautiful shelf in my house. It holds nothing, and that is what makes the rest of the closet feel calm. The Japanese idea of wabi-sabi lives here, though you do not need the word to feel it. It is the beauty you find in a room that is not full, the quiet that settles into a space when you stop trying to fill every corner of it. An empty shelf is not a failure to own enough. It is proof that you already have what you need, and that what you need has room to breathe. Stand in front of your closet after this work is done, and you will feel something you did not expect. It is not pride, exactly. It is not satisfaction the way finishing a task feels satisfying. It is closer to relief. The closet is no longer pressing outward against its own doors. It is resting, and so, quietly, are you. Tell me in the comments, what is the one garment you already know you have been holding onto for someone you used to be? I would like to hear. Next time, I will show you what to do with the rest of your home once your closet is quiet. It is the natural next step after today. Tonight, open one drawer, fold 5 pieces, and stand them upright. That is all. A closet is a small room, but when it is at peace, the whole house feels lighter. The people who built this country with their hands knew things we are only just starting to remember.